what kind of toilet paper are you guys using? It's not Charmin, is it?
I have no idea. It's from Costco.
Okay. Well, if you guys are using Charmin, quit using it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's Charmin.
Gotcha.
But why? Why not Charmin?
It does not break down or disintegrate. It just balls up like a paper towel.
Have you seen a bunch of toilet paper?
No. I just always ask people that I've never encountered, so I can just get it out the way.
So if he is saying he broke the pipe, you're coming this way.
Right now, we're going this way, sir. Matter of fact, Jared, go get the locator, and we'll just nip this in the butt, too.
Hello.
Because I'm getting ready to come up on a Y, brother,
Yeah, I got you.
and that's
Hello?
that stack.
Yeah, I got something. I mean, I should remember, but yeah, I'm gonna get something by the end of the day. Give me a call. Alright, cool.
So I'm coming up on a Y right now. Right now, we're heading that way, 13 feet 1 inch. I'm in the right at the face of a street 45 that's getting ready to tie into a Y, which is right here. The back side of that Y is going to be catching that stack behind you. Is going to be it. And then once we round this, then we'll be in your straightaway heading towards your backyard. And then I'm going to see a 4x2 or a 4x3 Y coming in at 9 o'clock. That's going to be grabbing your kitchen and your laundry, and it's also.
I want to see if we can see the break.
And it's also going to be catching that floor drain. So that floor drain that's over there by your furnace is going to be tied into that 2 or 3 inch that's underneath this floor. As a matter of fact. Well, I'd rather it be 2 inch than 3 inch because a lot of them back in the days thought 3 inch was better, and 3 inch on a kitchen sink is actually worse.
Interesting.
Grassy as Seagull. Thank you.
Why is 3 inch worse?
Because it can actually flow slower and hold more debris.
Interesting.
It can actually load up the pipe. You're right here, 16 inches deep from the top of the concrete to the bottom of the pipe. So that stack's heading straight towards my receiver, and then we're going to make a 45 going into the Y, heading straight that way. The back side of that Y is going to be catching that 3 inch cast iron stack on the other side of your ring there. Alright, J-Rod, continuing on. Turn that bug off so I don't have to see those damn lines through my screen. So there's the Y.
Yeah.
So this back side here, sir, is going to be that stack over there. So now we're heading this way, towards that back wall. Now, I'm going to presume it looks like somebody had broke up the floor here. So, with this sump pump being this far out from the wall, I promise you before this sump pump was put here, there was a foundation drainage pit That's what these houses used back in the days before sump pumps were put in. So it was basically a 1 foot square box by approximately 2 foot deep, and you had one of those floor drains sitting in the bottom of it. And then your perimeter drain would go all the way around the house with the octagon clay tiles that are only 1 foot long. They're all butted up. They would terminate here, and all your rainwater would terminate into the sanitary sewer. And I bet you this was on the program that Johnson County Wastewater paid for. So, and then your sewer's gonna leave typically either left or right of that pit. Yours is leaving to the left. So I wonder if this alleged hole isn't probably the 4x2Y that was picking up that floor drain. We'll see it at 3 o'clock. We'll see his other tie-in for the laundry at 9 o'clock. And then the cast will typically go out for another 2 or 3 feet, and then we'll hit what we call your building connection. That's where you're going to go from your cast iron to your clay.
Yeah.
So my camera always shows bottom. Huh. Would you look at that? You want to put money, you guys? You guys been to Vegas
So this
lately?
is the rain trap you're talking about.
That's the floor drain that used to. You want to put money on where that's at, brother?
Right where he's got it marked?
No, where that damn sump pump pit's at. Who's feeling lucky today? Who wants to gamble with me?
Nope.
No? You
Nope.
sure, Jared?
I got money on you though.
You sure?
So wait, hold on.
So there's your tie-in.
So is this going that
No,
way?
this one is coming into the right, which is where that sump pump pit's at.
Where's the tie-in from the left?
Right here.
Okay.
That's why that goofball said that he saw a hole there. It ain't a hole.
Gosh.
That's why I'm saying that's not a hole. He was staring at a double. It's either a cross or it's going to be a double Y. So when he was coming this way towards the main, he was staring at that hole, which is capped off, because that used to be the floor drain of where that used to be where the foundation drainage pit's at, which is where you're here. Watch this, dude. It's a good thing you guys don't gamble in Vegas, because you would have lost this one.
I mean, I'd have been with you, so I ain't.
How does that
Yeah.
guy not figure that out?
Not my deal, dude. I can't even begin to tell you the crap I see and have to deal with on a daily basis.
So, yeah, I mean, Jody called me and she was like, after she found out I was having problems, and she was like, who you call? I said A1. She said, why the fuck would you call A1? I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. He's like, they're so inexperienced. They just hire anybody. He's like, ask the guy how long he's been working. I bet it's been less than a year.
Excuse me. Goodness. He's off on his marked byway. So you're actually right here, and you're 18 inches deep. There's your sump pump pit.
And that's where we're seeing
So when he was TVing, sir,
the line coming from here.
Check more. So when he was TVing from that 2-inch stack clear on the other end of the basement, because like I said, these ranches out here, I've never seen one with proper fall, ever. In 30 years, I've never seen it. So it's just coming across here, it's running through. Right here was that pit I was telling you about, which now the sump pump resides. So if he would have been able to keep going and jump it, he would have seen a fern coat cap where the plumber capped that floor drain off because he removed it. Because you're not allowed waste or any rainwater to enter a sanitary sewer. It's illegal. So that's why Johnson County Wastewater implemented that program back in the 80s and 90s, that if you had one of these, you got on a list, you had to get 3 bids, and then the wastewater department would pay for the plumber to come in, break up the floor, terminate that floor drain, cap it off, and then put your sump pump in. Yep, so I bet you $100 if you call Johnson County Wastewater, talk to the nice gal Lisa in engineering, give her your address, she'll tell you when this was put in.
Yeah, I won't take that back.
So that's what he was seeing when he saw your break. Okay, so that's what he was seeing right there.
What's interesting is right when that was happening, right before he hit this point, it was underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we not underwater here?
No. Now you do have some paper, some toilet paper. Could you do me a favor? Can you flush whatever toilet that is, sir?
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
Just one?
Yep, just give me one hit. Because there's paper laying right there in that throat. What? No, he's going over there. There's another stack. It ain't going to affect me none. You just hear the echo. Don't freak on me. You're just hearing the echo, brother. Here comes this water. And then there's that tie-in. And then do me another favor.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is kind of weird, but is that a 2-bay sink or a single-bay sink in your kitchen? Is it a 2?
I don't know what that. Oh no, it's just one big sink.
Just one big sink?
Yeah.
Let's fill it up halfway. And then when it's filled up halfway, sir, if you could pull that plug for me, I'd appreciate it.
I do not have a cover for it.
You don't have one of the stoppers from it? Yeah, go up there, Jared. Use a rag. I want you to give me a good hit, Jared.
Halfway?
Yep. Give me about halfway if you don't mind. Hey, Jared, once that thing's filled up halfway, pull it and leave the water running. Quarter of the way. You know what? Go ahead and pull it. Pull it? Yeah. You're going to see water eventually come in on this side where you've got some toilet paper.
I wonder how that toilet paper even.
Well,
I
because
guess-
it's on a cross,
Yeah.
so every time you're flushing, yeah, see, look at it all.
Holy smokes!
Did you get it?
Oh, it was loaded.
Want me to fill it up again?
What?
Want me to
Yes,
fill it up?
please. So he didn't even get it all the way open. So it was still puking. why I wanted him to do just that. I knew that was coming. So we're not a big fan of those double Ys or those crosses, just because of what you just saw. So every time you guys are flushing, whether it be from this stack on this toilet or whether you're flushing from that back one, what happens is once you start picking up velocity with the waste and everything, you're basically trying to encounter a line that looks like this. So this side is going to be handling your kitchen sink and your laundry. This side is dead because that used to be the floor drain that was where the sump pump's at. And what happens is it hits those two big openings on either side.
Yeah.
And then your paper likes to stick and hang right there.
Yeah.
And as you keep doing that, eventually you will. I have a funny feeling when he said you were blocked up somewhere over in here, it was that cross. So I think when you guys are flushing paper and whatnot.
Yeah.
Did you want me to fill out the sink up again?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Give me another one. Because hey, you blew a whole log of toilet paper out that
I
line.
kind of figured that's what was
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's why I had you do it. So anyway, over time, toilet paper is building up in that cross, and some of it is starting to push back upstream on your kitchen sink and your laundry. And then what happens is it blows through. Well, guess what it's going to do? It's going to launch from there back over to here, because there's no correct directional flow for that stuff to go.
And then it just gets stuck.
And then it just gets stuck, and then you call in a drain cleaner. He or she comes in. I don't know why they didn't do it from here, but whatever. So they did it from over there,
I am curious.
and then they just broke up that load partially, because you saw it with your own eyes. They didn't get it all out of there. You saw that
Yeah.
log come out of there just as much as I did. So if you don't want to break up the floor at all and remove that fitting, and it's not because you're broke, it's just because you got a cross right there. So if that cross was removed and a Y was installed, then anytime you flushed from there or you flushed from here, you wouldn't have to mess with that again. So it would just go ahead and flow back on where it should go to the downstream side. Now, with that being said, if you guys don't want to break it up, then what you need to do periodically is fill that sink up,
Just like that.
just like what we just did. Pull that plug and let that build up, shoot, and go through. And then once you're done with that, flush the toilet and
Okay.
chase it on the back side,
Okay.
so that way it'll all get it to go in the correct direction of flow. Does that make sense?
Yeah. If you don't mind, I kind of want to, if we can scope from there as well.
Yeah, we can.
Whenever we're done
Yeah.
here. I just want to see.
But that hole that he was telling you is not a hole.
Yeah.
It's just the other side of the cross that he was
God.
seeing that had a floor drain attached to it at one point, is what it was. How full are you, Jay?
about a quarter.
Let her rip.
Because on this side, when we were coming down this way,
Mm-hmm.
he was saying the pipe is so eroded that the bottom was gone,
Well, we'll see.
and it was just that gravel, that it was set on. And I couldn't tell,
Mhm.
looking at this stuff, you got a better eye, so I don't know what I'm looking at.
So see, when you see this water come out of here, watch it. Boom. See how it jumped across?
Yeah, it's bad flow.
Correct. It's just a bad fitting. And there's guys still to this day in new construction that will use double Ys, and I absolutely hate them because it still does this crap.
It's just blocking up right there.
Well, what it does is the water shoots across, it's hitting a dead end, so now it's got to shoot back again,
Yeah.
and then it goes both
Yeah,
directions.
and it just sits there.
Yep,
and then
that's
eventually-
all it does.
Again?
Nope, you're good. Shut that water off. and then see how it's draining down,
Yeah, now
because
it's
the
draining.
water will start to recollect, and then it'll start to go the correct direction of flow.
So right now, we don't have anything back.
You're not, not now you don't, but when that got opened up, it wasn't even opened up all the way. Because you saw that log of paper come out when I had Jared fill up the sink the first time. So all he did was poke a hole in the blockage, got the water to drain down, and water was flowing through it, but the line wasn't 100% open. So that's what it is. So when he came across this way, the right side, all he did was look on the other side, and it's just blanked off, because there was a floor drain that sat over here. That's where your sump pump's at. So that's the reason why we don't like those crosses underneath the floor, is because of that right there.
Yeah.
So if you were to dig, it wasn't going to be because you're broken. You would be digging it up to get rid of that monstrosity that doesn't need to be there anymore. So, on with the show.
We're past that one.
So now we're past that cross. Yep.
Pretty soon we'll hit.
And then we're going to hit your building connection here. Like I said, we've got to get out anywhere from 3 to 5 feet. Everybody's a little bit different. Now we're starting to go underwater a little bit. Now you're completely underwater. And we're still underwater. This isn't good. Are we even in clay? Yep, there's clay right there. There's your root ball. See it?
Oh.
Yeah.
There's that one at 41 feet. Oh yeah, this thing needs to be cleaned bad. And that's blocking about 95% of your pipe right there, brother.
That's root,
That's all tree roots, yes sir.
and that's going to be at some joint.
Yep, that's at 40 feet 9 inches. So let's come back some more. So I bet you $1,000, Jared. All your paper also too, sir. Once it makes it through that damn cross, you're hanging up right here. That's why we were holding water. So when I went through here, I popped it open. There's the hole that my camera just made. So let's back it up. Let's see what your building connection looks like.
Why were we underwater right before this?
Look, more roots.
You know?
That's at 34. That's because
Could be a belly
all that
area.
waste that we pushed out of that side when Jared popped the sink open,
Yeah.
it pushed all that weight and it started hitting the tree roots and it immediately started
Mm.
So
clogging.
as soon as you punch through it,
Yes, sir.
then
Then all that waste relieved itself. So your building connection is right there. That's at 33 feet 2 inches. So this is cast iron right here,
you know,
and then there's your clay.
okay.
And that's not offset. That looks good. So when he told you that joint was offset,
You know,
that was bullshit.
you know.
So,
He did show us these roots. I know I saw these.
yeah, well, let's see how much of it, brother, you got. Because you've got some that are growing from this one. There it is. Okay. And then there's where it stops right here. So you got a root growing down to the next joint. Next 2 joints are clear. This one here is where I popped it open with my camera.
Mm.
That's where I poked a hole in it. So we'll just slide through the same spot I've already made. And then you've got some roots growing downstream, not a big deal. And there's some more roots. Right there.
Oh.
That's blocking 98% of the pipe right there. Let's see if we can sneak. Because I've got a skid on my camera. There we go. And it could have been that your main line had been backing up because all your paper is clinging onto the root balls. And then now you start to back up.
Yeah, from there.
And then all this paper, all that paper from your other stack hits that cross. And that's probably what was causing it to push that way when you saw that one log come through. So when the main line was backed up, because it was your main line, them cleaning from over there at the 2-inch was just a waste of time. It wasn't even doing them any good. They should have been over here at this stack, because then you could have gotten ahead of the cross, and you could just kill two birds with one stone. You could have got all the roots out.
Right, that's all I need. They should have been cleaned those roots.
Yes, sir. Yep. And then there's a small one there. Nothing big. That's a 73. The line doesn't really look that bad, brother. I mean, the clay looks pretty damn immaculate. It's got good fall. Haven't ran into a belly yet. That joint looks good. That one looks good.
That's what I thought.
That one is a small offset. That could have been there from day one when the line was laid. And then boom, there's the city sewer, 87 feet 9 inches. From this stack to that connection.
Okay.
So your line looks good, brother. It just needs to be cleaned.
That's it.
So I say let's cable it.
With those root balls that are clogging 95% in those 2 spots or those 3 spots.
Yep.
All you would recommend is just clearing.
We just need to clean it, and then
So something like that, you're not like, we need to get in there, replace it, and fix
No.
the joints.
no, not at all. I wouldn't even tell you to line this thing.
Wow.
So it's all good. If you want any complaint from me, is that damn cross.
Yeah.
So, but once we get this out of here, I bet you a lot of that problem will go away too. Because when you guys are taking showers, doing laundry, anything that's going to be high flow.
Yeah.
So your pumps on your dishwasher as well as your washing machine, that's pump power. So you're going to start filling that line up, and then you're going to back up. I promise you your main line was your original source, and then all he did was just poke a hole. And then what they do is they stick the camera down in there, and then they start doing this ooh and ah crap. They start freaking customers out, because now they, here we go. The camera guy from A1 is the one that can give you the bid for the work.
Yep.
So they use the camera, scare the hell out of you guys, and tell you that you got to spend some obscene amount of money.
I'm gonna wait until we're all done.
And then what we'll do is once we're done, see, look at that paper load. See it?
So where are we there?
That's what was hanging up on your roots.
Oh.
See it?
Oh, so you just backed out through the
Yeah.
river.
So, anywho, so once we get the sewer cleaned, then we'll rescope it again after we're done. And this is something that you guys are gonna need to do once a year.
Okay.
So, yeah,
How long have you been doing this for?
too long. And then Jared will just, I'll back my truck up into the driveway. Are you guys needing to leave anytime soon?
My wife just left, but no.
Oh, okay, I didn't want to block anybody in, bud. And then we'll just carry it down the stairs. I think she's got those wood deals.
You can, right.
And then, put that away. But yeah, so far the cast looks alright, it's intact. I can't tell you how long you have left on your life expectancy. That's like you going to the doctor and asking how much life you have left to live.
And I know it's probably redundant, but would you mind looking?
No, we'll look at that side after we get your main problem resolved. Let's just